You have a great item in your Etsy shop that's driving views and even sales, but you want more. You want to increase your Etsy sales, am I right? But if you make changes to your Etsy listing, won't it cause Etsy to reassess that listing? Could it possibly drop you in the ranking and lose you some of the momentum that you had to start with? Yes, in general, if an item is doing really well, you want to leave well alone. Even if Etsy tells us, like they did last year, that they've made some changes to the algorithm, you want to work on your least performing items first of all, and the ones that are doing well, leave them until they're not your best performing items anymore. But there are a couple of little secrets that I want to share with you, that's little things that you can test, that you can change in your most popular listings that can make them even more popular without causing Etsy to re-index them, without changing their ranking, and most importantly, without losing all that momentum. These two main things you can change that can have a massive impact are your item's description and your item's main photograph. Etsy told us last year that your description isn't counted towards your rankings of your items, so we can change this and it might affect our sales. Let's talk about that. A tweak to your description can make your item more enticing to people who already clicked on your item. This can turn a browser into an actual buyer. Consider a cute story about your item, what inspired you to make it, what it's made of, what it can be used for. And don't forget to include the sizes here, and also any frequently asked questions that you get about the item. Make sure they're in the description, because people prefer to get all the answers in the description rather than having to contact you. In your description, you can also link to other items, so this keeps people in your shop for longer. If, for instance, you have a different size or a different colour in the item, or you have different multiples of that item, or in a different material, then you could link to these different items. And that way a person, if they don't find exactly what they want with your one item, there's a chance they won't leave your shop. They'll click onto another item to still purchase from you. And the main photograph in your listing can have a massive impact on sales. What you want to do is search for the search term that people are finding your listings under and look at the competition. See what everyone else's photographs look like, how your item matches up to them, and can it stand out? Consider a pop of colour, an interesting background, or even showing it in a beautiful location. For example, if you sell gloves, consider photographing someone wearing your gloves opening a gate to a beautiful walk, holding a cup of coffee while sitting by a frozen lake, or holding hands with a loved one walking down an autumnal tree-lined avenue. Obviously, make your item the main feature of your photograph, but you can have inspirational elements and enticing elements in the photograph to make your item more interesting than just a pair of gloves lying on a table. But it's not just enough to make changes. It's not just enough for you to think what is going to do best for your shop. You have to test these things and see what the customers think as well. This method is called A/B testing. So what you want to do before you make the changes, for a good few weeks before you make a change, take a note of what's happening with your item. Look at the number of views and hearts it gets on a regular basis. Check this over several days to at least several weeks, because things vary with time, obviously. And then make the change, leave it for a week while tracking your results, and then change back. Switch backwards and forwards over the course of a couple of months, and this gives you some sensible enough data points that you can decide what's working for you. But the new pro feature in eRank, this listings track feature, can help you with this A/B split testing, make it much easier to track your changes. So what you want to do is that week or two before you decide to make your change, hit the track changes button, and what happens from then on in is that every single day eRank takes a snapshot of that listing. It looks at what your titles are and what your tags are, which we're not going to change just now anyway. It also takes a snapshot of what your picture is, and it looks at the number of hearts and the number of views you've had, and lets you know how many they've gone up each day. Now, you really want to make sure that you track this over multiple days, because eRank does not take this snapshot at the same time every day, and shoppers' habits vary at different times in the week. So you want to run this for a week or two to make sure that you've got a good baseline. And then when you make your changes, you can see at a glance the day that you made your changes. You can see what week you're on, what image you're on for that week, and you can see if the actual number increase in views and likes for that time on that photograph, if it's higher or lower than your original. Now, eRank is not tracking the changes in your description, but if you keep a note of what you've changed and what days you've changed it on, just like you were doing with your photographs, you can still at a glance see if there's been any hopeful upswing in the number of views and likes you get. So it's still making it easier to see all in one place. Now, you don't need eRank Pro to run this A/B split testing. The feature just makes it easier, but if you don't have this, then you can just use your analytics, keep a note, write down every day what you've done and what the changes are, and remember and keep coming back to this over the course of a couple of months, and you can still get the results that you want. If you missed my video last week of this new feature from eRank, click on my first look video in the cards here, and don't forget, click on my wee face to subscribe. Thank you so much.